Good morning, everybody. Nope. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm back. Anyways, today I'm doing a ginger molasses cookie. Yeah, we got a new angle of the kitchen because I got a plug in over here. Better light, anyways. So, anyways, I was already whisking this up. This is It's just pretty simple here. Anytime you do a recipe with flour, cocoa, anything like that, even cornstarch sometimes, especially if it's dry, you kind of want to break it up so that way you don't end up with a bubble. Nobody wants that in their cookies. I mean, as soon as you serve a flour bubble dessert to your friends, like, the trust is broken. They're not going to eat your baking for a long time. You're going to have to twist arms to get them to eat your baking. So, pretty simple. Whisk it till it's nice. This is, I gotta look at my books. This is something I've written down. So this one has 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of cloves, and half a teaspoon of ginger. Oh, I love that smell. It's almost like Christmas. I can't wait for Christmas, but it's kind of a cool day, so I figured why not? Okay, so next step will be the butter. So it usually says, a lot of recipes when they say softened butter, I do like to use the tub butter because it's already soft. I don't have any. I just have those nice baking bricks that I like to use. So all I did was just throw it in the microwave and I melted it. I cheated. I didn't have time for this, so it's going to be... Oh, and in here, I should probably add, in here already, I have 3... No, yeah, I was going to say 3/4 of a cup? No. It's 1 cup of packed brown sugar, which, as usual, I never really do my sugar to the top of my containers. It's my way of just cutting back a little bit here and there. So I do a packed cup, but it's just not quite full. It's probably somewhere between the 3/4 and up mark. All right. So this is pretty simple. This is going to be, I'm just going to cream the butter and the sugar. I don't know how long. You usually go until it's smooth. I don't know what smooth is. You know what? I'll time it because I usually just go by how it looks because my dog's whining in the background, which means he has to go pee. So I'm going to put him outside and then I'll mix this up and yeah, then we'll talk about it. We're back. I said and, but my voice died. That was really weird. It's like a little squeak. Okay, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Oh, okay, so we blended the sugar and the butter. Yes, because I melted my butter, it's not really that fluffy whip like I've done in previous videos. It's more of a liquid, but it's still blended, and it gets a little bit lighter the more you mix. So I mix this for 2 minutes, nothing crazy. You might want to do it a little bit longer if you're just doing a softened butter versus melted, which is fine. At your own discretion. So next is going to be the molasses and the egg. And I got a fun hack for getting molasses out. So, don't mind me digging in my fridge. I'm not as organized with this recipe for some reason. And, you know what, maybe I'll use the oil. I'll use oil. I just cleaned out my baking cupboard because 'tis the season. We're going to start to hit some cold weather, and I want to make sure that all my baking stuff is in order. Okay, so there's enough grease just kind of chilling on the lid here that this might work. So what I'm doing here is, this is a fun little hack I remember from when I was a child. You can take butter, you can take oil, it doesn't really matter. I used to use just the butter in my recipe, but I'd already mixed it up, so I can't do that. But all we're doing is we're trying to create a little bit of a slickery surface, and we're going to put the molasses in. So I just want to make sure I got my measurement right, which I did. It's a 1/4 cup of molasses. I'm using fancy molasses. I mean, you can use whatever kind you want or have. So the premise behind this, if I put enough grease on, I may not have because it was a really thin layer. This should just pour out. Come on now. There we go. Don't want to be chintzy with the molasses. Hey, come on. I don't want to make a mess of the lid. Okay, cool. Just about poured it everywhere, but I did it. Okay, so we're gonna... This is kind of funny the way it's just rolling off the back here. Yeah, okay, my oil thing worked a little bit on the one side here. It's not sticking, but yeah, I didn't add enough. I swear it works. I got lazy. I didn't open the oil. I should have. It would have all come out easier, but that's fine. I mean, try it at home. See if it works for you. Just don't be chintzy like me and use a little amount. Alright, that can go there. This can go here. We're done with the molasses. Oh, and we're going to crack in our egg. Just go put this straight into the organics bag. I don't want to deal with it. Okay, we're back. Okay, I'm going to blend this all together. So, I don't want it to get too loud. This is going to be pretty easy. Is literally just mix it until it's blended well. That's it. It's a simple one here. It doesn't have to be light and fluffy. Just needs to be incorporated. No egg visible because, again, just like the flour bubble, you do not want scrambled eggs in your baked goods. And a lot of people go wrong because they're worried about over-mixing, which is a thing, but under-mixing is also a big problem. So let's see how this goes. And there goes my dog. I apologize for the rude interruption. It was actually the boyfriend stopping by to heat up his lunch, and the dogs went nuts over it, which I'm sure you all heard. So, I've set up a few things. I'm going to blend this up. It should only take about a minute or so, and then we will be adding the flour in, which I'll probably do off camera as well, just again because it's going to be loud and nobody needs to hear my blender. And then we're going to scoop and put it onto the tray. Okay, we are done mixing. So, this is, I guess, what it should look like. It's hard to explain. Looks like a pretty nifty hairdo is what that looks like. No judgment if you like the, I guess you call them beaters, but whatever you want to call these things. If you like to clean them off, by all means. I am choosing to not. So, there it is. Nice, beautiful. You can see I've got a little bit of flour that did come off from when I finished using the mixer here, which, I mean, that's going to happen. I always recommend just kind of busting through the center. Don't ever think that your machine has blended it completely. And if it has, then bonus. Mine did. So the next step is to toss them onto this sheet. Now, I'm actually going to cool this for a little bit is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to leave this in. It's just, if you look at it right now, it's really fluffy. It's almost like a thick mousse. It's just kind of tough to spoon out with one of these scoops that have these fun things in them. It's not that easy. It kind of comes out a little weird. So I'm going to chill this for about 30 minutes or so in the fridge. And then once that's done, the oven will be long preheated and ready to bake. Okay, let's get these cookies baking because I'm getting impatient. I don't know if it's quite been 30 minutes, but it's cooler than it was. So I'm going to take that as a win. What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. Yeah, it's a little bit better. You can too if you're doing multiple trays. You can always cool your trays. like in between, so throw the one in the oven and then the other one can go into the fridge ready to go, or you can just do one tray at a time like I am doing. And what'll happen is once I get this one ready to go, I'll just end up putting the dough back in the fridge and let it cool between, because it's still pretty soft, I won't lie. I think I'm gonna do just 3 across because I'm not sure how these are gonna bake, because it's still pretty soft, and they will expand, trust me. So that's it. This is how easy and simple it is. They also, with these cookies, it's kind of funny because they say a lot of the times you can roll it in sugar. Can somebody tell me how you roll this gelatinous blob in sugar and not make a huge mess? Like, absolute disaster. Also, I mean, it's really not necessary. It's a great cookie. You don't need to add a boatload of sugar like around it. I almost feel like that's taking away from the greatness that is this cookie. Don't get me wrong, I've done the sugar. I've done it at Christmas time because it's pretty, it's aesthetically pretty, but I don't think it's necessary. And I think too, instead of rolling it in sugar, I think if I did it again, I'd probably just sprinkle a little bit on top. Yeah, this is still really soft though, I won't lie. That's why this pays. If you don't have one of these cookie scoops, you can do this with regular spoons. I used to do it with 2 spoons, scoop with one, and then you kind of scrape it off to kind of form it. It's a little messy at first, but it's a technique that you can definitely get down. I've only actually owned this cookie scoop, I'd say, just in the last couple of years, which is crazy because I've been baking since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, which, I mean, mind you, I'm not that tall, but still, since I was a youngin'. Okay, there we go. I didn't space those out evenly at all, but that's fine. Okay, so with this, as I said, I'm just going to toss this back into the fridge. Let it continue to cool. Here we go. Alright, okay, so now we're going to throw these into the oven, and let's see, what did I say? 8 to 10 minutes. So there's another one. Really fast baking. Always do the 8 minutes first. Check them. If they look like they're a little bit dark around the edges, or, I mean, a lot of things, it's usually when they're not glossy anymore. Everything's different, but 8 to 10 minutes. I'm going to do 10 minutes because I know my oven, and it's already set to 375. So 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 minutes, and then we'll get to see it when it comes out. Okay guys, you can probably tell that I've already pulled out a couple. This is the last batch. So I've got a total of 38 cookies. Let's bring you in for a closer look. Come on. So fresh from the oven. Again, you can tell that without the sugar, they don't look very Christmassy with that glisteningness, but that's okay. They're still delicious, and I'll probably redo them again at Christmas time anyways with the sugar because it's festive, so why not? So that's it. Ginger molasses cookies. Don't let the size fool you. They have a nice little crunch around the edge and a perfect cheeriness in the center. So, hope you made it. Hope you like it.